Call her from the year before. I bought the phone at a flea market. $20. Old rotary style, cream-colored body, faded numbers on the dial. It didn't even have a plug compatible with anything modern, but it looked good sitting on the little table by the window. Gave the living room a vintage touch. It wasn't supposed to work. The first time it rang, it was just after midnight. No caller ID, just that shrill mechanical ringing. I didn't even know it could do that. I stood there staring at it for a second, thinking maybe I was dreaming, or maybe someone was screwing with me. But no, it kept going. Reluctantly, I picked it up. Hello? The line hissed for a moment. Then a voice I hadn't heard in a year. Hey! My knees almost gave out. It was Lily, my girlfriend, who died last summer. Car accident. Raining too hard. Took the turn too fast. The guardrail didn't hold. But this voice, it wasn't a memory. It was real. Present. The way she said it. Soft, a little amused, like I just said something dumb. It was her. Lily? Yeah, she said, like it was obvious. You sound surprised? I didn't know what to say. I thought about hanging up. I thought about throwing the whole damn phone out the window. How are you calling me? She paused. That's not important. I just wanted to hear your voice. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I pulled the phone apart. There was no SIM, no power source, nothing but old wires and dust. I even checked with a friend who does telecom stuff. He laughed when I told him, said there was no way it should work. That night, the phone rang again. Same time, same voice. She sounded clearer this time. Said she'd been thinking about me. Said she'd missed the way I used to hum while washing dishes. Little things. I wanted to believe it was a prank. A cruel, elaborate prank. But who would do that? Who could do that? By the fourth night, I stopped trying to make sense of it. She started talking about places. Remember the cabin by the lake? The one with the broken swing? Yeah. We'd gone there 2 summers ago. Spent the whole weekend fighting off mosquitoes and playing cards. I'd forgotten about it until she mentioned it. You should go, she said. I want to see you there. I didn't go. I should have. Maybe. But I was scared. Scared of what it meant. The calls kept coming. Some nights, she was playful. Others, quiet. Like she was far away. Once she whispered, "It's lonely here." Another time, "I don't have much time." It started messing with my head. I'd wake up with her voice in my ears. I stopped seeing friends. Work became background noise. All I cared about was 12:03 a.m. when the phone would ring. One night, I asked the question I'd been avoiding. "Lily, where are you?" Silence, then, "Close." Another time she said, "There's water everywhere. It's cold, but it doesn't bother me anymore." I started having dreams, wet footprints on the floor, the smell of lake water, the creak of an old swing, always at the cabin. Last Saturday, she said something different. "I'm coming to see you." I swallowed. When? Soon. I'll be there when the clock strikes 1. Leave the door unlocked. I didn't plan on doing that. I told myself I'd stay with a friend. Leave town. But I didn't. I stayed. At 12:59 a.m., the air in the room changed. Thicker. Heavier. Like the atmosphere before a thunderstorm. The phone didn't ring, but the doorknob turned. Slowly. Quietly. I froze. Every instinct told me to run, but I couldn't. The door creaked open. And there she was, Lily. Same hoodie she wore the day of the accident. Same jeans. Her hair hung damp over her shoulders. Her shoes left watery prints on the wooden floor. She didn't speak. She just looked at me. Her eyes weren't angry or sad, just tired. And then she smiled. It was the smile I fell in love with. The one she gave me the first time we danced in the kitchen. I stepped forward. I don't remember what happened after that, but I woke up on the floor, the phone in my hand. Dead silent. No dial tone, no power, nothing. Just water on the floor, leading back to the door, and the faint smell of lake water in the air. He's always been here. When I moved into the apartment, it was just supposed to be me and Drew. 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen, slanted floors. The kind of place where the shower squeaks when someone opens the fridge. But it was cheap, and we were both tired of crashing on couches. Drew was easygoing. We split chores, bills, leftovers. It worked. One night, maybe 3 weeks in, we were sitting on the floor watching something on his laptop when he said, "The quiet guy hasn't been around much lately." I laughed. "What guy?" "You know," he said, looking genuinely puzzled. "The third guy. The one who always keeps to himself." I waited for the punchline. None came. "There's no third guy, Drew. It's just us." He stared at me for a moment, then blinked, laughed, and said, "Weird. Must have dreamed it or something." I thought he was joking, or maybe just tired. We went back to watching, but then I started noticing things. A third coffee mug in the sink, wet. A toothbrush in the holder, blue, not mine or Drew's. Shoes by the door, scuffed boots, wrong size. I asked Drew about it. "You sure that's not yours?" he said. "They're size 12. I wear 9. He shrugged. "I bought a camera. One of those cheap motion-activated ones. I set it up in the hallway. Next morning I checked the footage. Nothing. Just me. Just Drew." But the boots had moved. I tried not to overthink it. Maybe we were both messing with each other. Maybe we were sleepwalking. Maybe the neighbor's cat got in. Something. Anything. Then I found the note, taped to my bedroom door. Yellow sticky note, familiar handwriting. "You should knock. I might be changing." I hadn't written it. Drew swore he didn't either. But the handwriting, it looked like mine. I dug out an old notebook from high school, compared the loops, the slant, the way I crossed my T's. Identical. That night, I heard the faucet turn on by itself. The floor creaked like someone was pacing. Drew was asleep. I could hear him snoring. I stayed locked in my room till morning. We talked again. I told Drew I thought someone was living with us. Hiding. Coming out only when we weren't looking. He didn't laugh. He said, "You're just figuring that out now?" I wanted to move. Drew didn't. "It's his place too," he said. "He was here before us." "You're not serious." He didn't answer. I started spending nights at a friend's place. Came back only to grab stuff. Each time, the apartment felt more unfamiliar. Once I opened the fridge and all the food had been rearranged. Not thrown out, just moved. Like someone was making space for something else. I found my name scratched into the underside of the kitchen table. Not carved. Just scrawled in pen. Over and over. One night, I came back to grab my laptop. There was a note on my bedroom door. "You don't live here." It was in my handwriting again. I went to confront Drew, but Drew was gone. Room cleared out. No message. Just gone. I called him. Texted. Nothing. When I turned to leave, I noticed the door to the hall closet was open. Inside, a chair. A mug on the floor, a small notepad. On the first page, "You're being watched." I slammed it shut and ran. I didn't go back for a while. Last week, curiosity won. I unlocked the door. The place was quiet. My room was untouched, dusty. Still had the bed frame, my old lamp. But someone had written something on the mirror. Lipstick or marker, I'm not sure. "You can't evict someone who's always been home." Underneath, my name. My full name, in my handwriting. The curtain behind the stage. It was my third time performing at the Marlowe Theater. A dusty old building with creaking floorboards and chandeliers that swayed, even when there was no draft. Most actors considered it a badge of honor to perform there. I just liked the smell of aged velvet and sawdust. Made everything feel like it mattered. But there was one thing nobody touched. Behind stage left, partially hidden behind rigging and prop boxes, hung a thick, deep red curtain. Not part of the main drapery. This one was heavier, older, the kind that seemed like it should lead to a forgotten prop closet, or nowhere at all. Everyone called it the dead curtain. No one really said why. Just one of those unspoken rules. Don't pull it, don't step behind it. Don't talk about it too loud. Superstitious stuff. I thought it was all theater myth, until opening night. We were halfway through Act 2. I'd just come off stage for a quick costume change. Everything was chaos backstage. Velcro ripping, whispers, clattering boots. Someone shouted that my next cue was early, and I panicked. I turned the wrong way. Ran straight behind the red curtain. Everything went silent. Like, completely silent. No rustling, no footsteps, no audience coughs. Just muffled. I looked around and froze. The space behind the curtain wasn't dark. It was lit. Not with bulbs, but with some kind of strange glow. And right in front of me was a stage. Our stage, except reversed. Like someone had flipped it like a mirror. The same set pieces. The same props. Even the crew was there, just slightly off. Their faces didn't move quite right. Their gestures were a beat too slow. And the audience? Full house, identical to ours. Same clothes, same faces. Except no one smiled. No one clapped. No shifting in seats, just blank stares. Eyes wide, mouths closed. Then I saw him. Me. On the stage. Speaking my lines. Except I was better. Smoother. Louder. More confident. He was delivering the monologue I'd been dreading all week, and the crowd watched him like he was a god. I don't know how long I stood there. I only remember the moment he turned. Our eyes met, and he smiled. A slow, practiced smile, like he knew I'd be there. I backed up, almost tripped over a lighting stand, turned and pushed my way back through the curtain. When I re-emerged into the normal backstage, the noise returned. The stage manager yelled for me. I ran to my cue, heart pounding. I messed up my lines, dropped a prop. The audience barely reacted. But when I glanced out, I could swear, just for a second, that someone in the front row looked wrong. Like they'd just come from behind the curtain too. After the show, I told Mark, the lead tech, what I saw. He didn't laugh, just said, "You shouldn't have gone in there." "What is it?" I asked. "Doesn't matter," he said, already walking off. "Just don't go back." But I did. I waited until the theater was empty. Slipped in through the back. The curtain was still there, undisturbed. Still heavy with that same strange presence. I stepped behind it again. This time, the mirrored world was empty. The set was still there. Lights on, but no people. I thought maybe it had been some elaborate hallucination until I turned to leave. The curtain was gone. I reached forward and touched air. Then wall. No fabric. No seam. Just cold wooden paneling. Then I heard clapping. I turned back to the stage. The audience had returned. Expressionless. Identical. All eyes on me. And on stage, he was back. Other me. This time, he was walking toward the edge of the stage, smiling. He opened his mouth and said, "You took your time." Then the lights went out. When I woke up, I was on the floor of the real backstage. People around me. Panic. Paramedics. They said I'd collapsed, that I missed curtain call. Everyone said I looked pale. Office. But when I tried to tell them what happened, they just nodded politely, like they didn't believe me. Now, every time I perform, I see him, just for a second, reflected in a mirror, or standing behind the set, watching. Sometimes I hear faint applause when no one's clapping. Sometimes I find scripts in my bag with his handwriting. And sometimes I feel like I'm the one behind the curtain now, waiting for the real show to begin.